Hello folks, and welcome. For those of you that haven't been following along with us on this project here, we'll just give you an idea of what we've been doing here. So we bought this old single-wide mobile home some time ago, and over the summer or the last several months we've been working on bringing this old home back to life. This place was very run down, and we really needed a complete going over. So we've been working on restoring the outside of the home over the last several months, and we're just in the process now of kind of getting things buttoned up before our winter weather hits. And the latest project that we've got going here is putting the new siding on. So I'll just give you a little look around the front here. Over the summer, and we've done lots of work here to prepare to get to this point. It's not just a matter of slapping some siding on. There's all kinds of things that have to be done. So this is a look at the home from the front. Now we still have some work to do up there in the gable. You can see that it's unfinished up there. But basically what we did was, we started with doing some re-landscaping here, and then we re-leveled the home. We took the old skirting off and put some new skirting on. We installed, some of this trim, new windows. The home didn't have an overhang down the sides, and so we have put this overhang on when we did our new roof. We re-roofed it. We've put these smart trim fascia boards on together with that smart trim around the windows. And so there's just a whole myriad of little tasks that you have to do to kind of get ready to get to the point to actually do a particular task. So here for example, there was a light up on top there. And what we did was, it was kind of in the middle of nowhere, and so what we did was relocated that lamp up there. And because of the height of the mobile home here from the factory, this plug here, electrical outlet, was really high. It was like way up on the wall there. It was really high to reach it. And so we moved that down. We took it down as far as we could with the amount of wire that was there. And another thing that you can see that we've got this landscaping that we're working on here. So we're almost finished with the landscaping. That dirt there is going to get some landscape rock over the top of it. But there was only one hose bib for this place, and it was way at the back there where the hose is attached at the back. So it's been hauling hoses all around here, to water the stuff in the front. So, what another thing we had to do, this part of, getting ready to put siding on was, we installed another hose bib out at the front here so that you don't have to drag your hoses all the way from the back in order to water this front area. We also had a lot of rotten wood, because of the way it was done before with no overhangs. It was just the water would come down the wall, and this wall here particularly was in really rough shape. So we had to repair all of the rotten wood, basically all the way around, a foot all the way around the bottom. We cut that all out and replaced that. We have installed some recessed lighting in the eaves up over the front door there, and also over these two windows here. So we're still we still have to do the finish on the wall around those windows there. And so you can see we've put these wood posts in here. They've got one on either side. And so in between those posts we'll be putting a finish, and it's going to be some kind of wood. We haven't decided just yet. It's either going to be like a rough channel siding, or perhaps a a cedar shingle that will be stained. So here's another thing that we had to do was this lamp up here was actually on the wall over here, kind of out in the middle of nowhere, like over here. So you can see that, you know, that really wasn't very effective as far as lighting, you know, lighting the deck here and the way up the deck. So, you know, that was another thing we had to do, was we had to relocate that light over to here. So, you know, that's several hours of work to do that, to, you know, to get from over there to over here. And there was no electrical outlet on the deck, and so again, you know, we wanted to have electric on the deck so that if you wanted to plug something in, so we're, you know, putting in another outlet here. It's not finished, but it's been roughed in there. So the siding that we're using here is it's a vinyl siding, and I know that some people previously have made some comments about, you know, using vinyl siding. You know, some people think that it's some kind of a low-end product. You know, it's vinyl siding is vinyl siding. Yeah, it's you know, it works. It's maintenance free. Like they say, vinyl is final. And one of the things that we have to work with when we're in these parks, this one especially, is you know, all of our work has to be approved by the park, and it has to be signed off. And so they stipulate that we have to use a maintenance-free products on our finishes, exterior finishes. And so the thought with that is that they don't want to have something that's going to create a lot of maintenance, and people don't maintain it, and then what happens is things start to look shabby. So basically, you know, our options are either vinyl siding, aluminum siding, or basically a product like a Hardy, like it's a cement board. I'm not a big fan of the Hardy products. You know, the Hardy sidings, you know, it's still basically a painted finish. You know, over time they get shabby looking. You know, you have to maintain them. There's maintenance involved with them. They rely heavily on caulking to weather seal the house, which again, you know, is another maintenance thing. So, and it's heavy. This home has about 12 squares of siding, or sorry, 11 squares of siding on it. So a square is 100 square feet. And so that means we have about 1,100 square feet of siding on this home. And the Hardy plank, I think it weighs 300 pounds per square, which means, you know, we'd be adding over 3,000 pounds of weight to the walls on this home. So, you know, in a regular house, it wouldn't be a problem, but, you know, in a home like this, it's a consideration because, you know, the home has been engineered. It's on a frame. There's cantilever joists and all kinds of things that you have to think about. So, you know, we choose to use the vinyl. It's easy to take care of. You know, there's no caulking and stuff that you have to keep up with. It's just, you know, it's an easy product to use, and I think it looks good. So the deck here will get a railing, and it's going to be, again, it can't be a wood railing. They've specified that we have to use, you know, a maintenance-free rail. So this will be getting a powder-coated aluminum rail. It's an expensive proposition. I have the materials already for this, and it's like $2,000 worth of materials, you know, to just do the rails on this deck. So, you know, that will be coming a little bit down the road. Up on the fascias there, where it's still unfinished, we have an eaves trough guy coming that's going to put our eaves troughs on there and downspouts, and then that will finish that off. So you kind of see the colors that we're going. Our color scheme here is a white and gray, and we're going with black trim. It's going to have black gutters on it and downspouts, and it's going to have black railings. So you will get a nice contrast there. And then so it being said that they were supposed to use maintenance-free products, I do like to try and sneak in a little bit of natural products, like wood. In my regular houses that I build, I like to use wood siding and stone and brick, and again, just because we can't do that here, I choose to do it this way, but I am going to kind of like sneak in a little bit of wood, and that's why we're going to do the wood around the windows there to kind of bring a warmer feel to the home. So I'll just take you around the back here. So this is just kind of show you how the windows have finished up here. You can see how how this is turned out down along the bottom here. So we've discussed this in previous videos about how this was all gonna shed water, and so you can see that now this is this is just like a regular house. So another thing we like to do is we like to try and get away from the mobile home look, and we do that by incorporating some overhangs and getting rid of some of the mobile home type moldings and trims that that are used in them when they're manufactured. And so the gray board there at the bottom, that rim board is kind of replaces that normal skirt trim that you would have that's bent around the corners, and it's it's really not very nice to look at. So here you can see it's done just like at a house, where we have the mitered corners, and then of course up on top we have the aluminum soffits. Again, that's another thing that makes the home look more residential. It's more of a residential standard than a mobile home standard. So it has a new roof on it. We put a new fiberglass laminate shingle up on top, complete with ice and water shield. And so this is how the windows kind of turn out. And so we've put this trim around, and so everything in there has been caulked and back caulked, and we've got flashing along the top there to get the water away. So this begins with a J trim. So vinyl siding depends heavily on J trims for the finish, so the siding tucks in behind there. So another thing that we added to the home was again another electrical outlet here in the back, and we also have added this security lamp up here. So that will give you, the electrical outlet will give you electrical service back in the backyard here. So if you have electric lawnmower or whatever, it's convenient to just plug it in here. And the security lamp it's a motion sensor lamp, and so behind us we have a field, and so there's nobody back here. But what does happen occasionally is we do get some people that come along here, and we've had a few incidences where people come over the fence, and so we just want to stop that. So this is just a hay field back here. So once we get done with the siding, we've got just a few more days to finish up here with the vinyl siding, and then we'll be ready for the gutter guys to come. We have to have our vinyl all done so that they can, when they put the downspouts on, they'll be screwing them to the house there. So it's kind of all has to be done in sequence. And then hopefully the weather's going to hold up for us, and we're going to get rid of that old shed and that old fence, and there's going to be a new higher wood fence going back in there to clean that up back there. Okay, so I'll just kind of bring you around the corner here and show you kind of the process. we have, for the most part, we've got the siding has all been installed. But I've left this one wall here to kind of give you an idea of how we do it. So originally this home had this T111 style siding, which is it's a wood product. T111 can be either like plywood or it can be a composite. This particular one is a composite. And what was typical of mobile homes in this era was to use the siding as the sheathing, which means that underneath that T111 that you see there, there's nothing underneath that. That's just it's insulation, and then you're into the interior of the wall. And so you really have very minimal kind of weatherproofing from the outside, and especially as it ages, it kind of starts to break down a little bit, and so you start to get a lot of moisture-laden air moving back and forth through that. So what we have done is we're putting the vinyl siding over top of the T111. But in order to prepare for that, we had a lot of rotten wood along the bottom here, all the way around the house. So we cut that all out and replaced it. And we showed you on some previous videos how we did that. And then we put this gray board on, and what that board does is it holds the top of the skirting. So that skirting tucks up underneath the board. And we have left room in there for that skirting to actually slide up and down, so that as the seasons change and we get some frost and the building settles or whatever, then it doesn't buckle the skirting. So in order to shed the water, then we put this drip cap on top of that board, and this is an aluminum extrusion, and it's just nailed on top. But before we did any of that, we put this roll of black tar paper. So this black tar paper goes down underneath the gray board, and then the gray board goes on top of the tar paper, and then we put the drip edge on top of everything, all of that. And then we are using the Tyvek building wrap, and you can see how the Tyvek then goes down over top of the flashing. And so any water that comes down, gets in behind the siding now, comes down and comes over this and then down. So nothing's getting in behind anymore like it was before. Anywhere that we've done trim ahead of time, like around the doors, for example, you can see before we put the trim on, we put a row of tar paper, so that tar paper goes underneath all of that trim. Okay, so there's tar paper underneath this, and then also before we put the corners on, we ran tar paper underneath there. So we just took a piece and kind of folded it, and it went around both ways, and then we nailed the corner on. Now that we're putting the Tyvek on, the building wrap, we're coming out over top of all of that tar paper now. And where the Tyvek meets the tar paper, we're using this red sheathing tape. And what that does is just basically forms a continuous kind of membrane. Now we haven't taped anything at the bottom again, and we sort of want to leave it so that if water gets in there, it has a way to get out. We don't want to trap it. So this, again, this makes it more like a conventional, type of house, where you've got building paper or home wrap or whatever to protect the home, and then you have siding and flashings that are just like in a regular house. So we like to use the technical type of membranes on the outside. So Tyvek is one of them. Another one that I've used in the past is called Nova Wrap, and these are breathable membranes, which means that they let it's kind of like Gore-Tex. So what it does is it lets any moisture that comes through from the inside of the home transfer through the paper, and then that would condense on the back side of the siding, and then it goes down between the siding and the home wrap, and then down to that flashing, and then exits the wall that way. It doesn't allow wind and water to go into the wall. It only allows it to come out of the wall. So opposed to using tar paper, we could use tar paper all the way up on this, but the thing with tar paper is that it's kind of more seals, and that way if you get warm moist air coming from the inside of the wall, it doesn't get out, and it will condense on the back side of the tar paper, and then you got moisture trapped in behind the wall. So the mobile homes, they're built different ways at the factory, and I've done a few of these, and so one of them that I did had no vapor barrier at all in it, so it had a drywall finish, the gypsum finish, and there was no drywall, no vapor barrier. So any of that warm, moist air could transfer right through the wall and get through. So just to be safe, we always go with the home wrap. It's a little bit more money. It cost us about $150 to do this, compared to probably half we just went straight tar paper. So that's kind of how we are going about the siding here. And so like I said, yeah, we're getting close to having things tidied up here, and then we'll be moving inside. Weather has been really crazy here. It's been like raining and raining and raining. We've had just an incredible amount of rain here lately, and it's been really hard to get things done. And that combined with all the other things that we've got going on, it's a challenging time of the year for us to get everything done, that has to be done before the weather closes in on us. So appreciate you watching, folks. Thanks for all the comments that you're leaving. We thank you. I really appreciate when you subscribe or share the video or like the video. It's very much appreciated. So thanks, folks. See you on the next one.